Brews in Boxing. We're back. First of the month. It's the first of the month, which means it is Filthy Five time. And it's not just about Filthy Rich. It's all of our lists. This month, we're doing the featherweight division, Featherweights. Very interesting division to figure out how this went out and figure out how I ruined all the lists. With me, as always, is Filthy Rich. Filthy Rich, how are you?
Let me tell you, Stone Cold stole WrestleMania 38 both nights. Stone Cold stunners everywhere. And surprisingly enough, Logan Paul looked really good too. He may have a career in the WWE.
That's good because he didn't have a career in boxing. So that's not a bad thing. By the way, I want to give a shout out to my Wild. Was it like 8 in a row now? 8 in a row. And the only 2 losses they've had in the last 10 are in overtime. They're scooting on up. We finally may have a championship team in Minnesota for the first time since 91, if you don't count the Lynx. With me also is Judge Jimmy James. Judge, what's up?
Oh, doing good, doing well. I feel good. I like the Filthy Five. I can't wait to get on with it. And in honor of MLB, probably already started when you watch this, I got my Ken Griffey Jr. gear all decked out.
I happen to put a little wager on the Minnesota Twinkies to win the division, by the way, at 5.5 to 1. 5.5 to 1. For all you gamblers out there, we got the best shortstop in the league. Got him. All right. And with us coming in at a blood alcohol content already of 0.13 is Matty Bush. Matty Bush, what's up, buddy?
Hey. Just glad to say that the Minnesota Timberwolves will be making the postseason. The Lakers won't. Sorry, Richie.
Wow. Mute him.
Face.
Mute him.
No, we didn't mute him on that. But as predicted, I think I hear that LeBron is going to be suddenly hurt, like Filthy Rich said last week. He's going to be suddenly hurt for the rest of the year when they're not making the playoffs.
Show. I think you guys can do this on your own.
No.
All right. Of course, we got a big show this week. So, gentlemen, if you got your beers ready, and Matt, whatever the heck you're drinking, what turpentine you're drinking from up there, cheers to the Minnesota teams being better than the Lakers.
Cheers, boys.
Every Minnesota team. All right, let's move on with the show. Filthy Five time, gentlemen. Filthy Five. First of the month. It's Featherweights. Featherweights. None of us will ever get down to featherweight weight, but we're going to talk about featherweights anyway. We each submitted our lists. We each gave 10 boxers. We added up points. The number 1 boxer got 10 points, all the way down to our number 10 boxer got 1 point. We add up all the points together of all 4 of us, and that's our consensus Filthy Five, named after Filthy Rich because, it's his list. It's his guys. So we're going to talk about this right now. Figure out how I ruined your guys' list, which I can't wait to get to. We'll go through 5, 4, 3, and then we will go honorable mentions, and then 2 and 1, just like we do every month. You boys ready?
Oh my God, Let's get into it.
Oh my God, let's see how I can screw up these names this week.
Can't imagine.
And number 5, coming in with 25 points, is Lee Wood, or Laywood. Someone that me and James got to know really well, cost us a bunch of money in Vegas after he knocked out Mick Conlon through the ropes last time. I had him at number 5. James, you had him at number 7. Richie had him all the way up at number 4. Bach had him all the way up at number 3. So, Bach, you get to explain first. Why do you have Lee Wood, or Lay Wood, all the way up at 3? I didn't even know he's French. Lay Wood. He laid the wood on him. What do you got?
Well, I put him up there because he was in what I consider the fight of the year as of now.
April.
He showed, whatever. It was a beautiful fight to watch. It had the drama and everything you want. The fight was everything you wanted in the sport of boxing, and it's the reason why we all love this sport. It had everything you wanted. There was knockdowns both ways. There was high action, and there was a 12th round knockout on the man who was coming back. And I'm going to say this man has a heart of a champion. And you know what? I put him up there because of that. Do I believe he beats a lot of the guys in below or above? No. But because of that fight on our list at this present time, this is why I put him where he's at.
I can understand that. You see it, you got to give him a little props early and move him up the list a little bit. I can see that. James obviously does not agree because he had him all the way down at 7. So maybe it was because he lost a little bit of the money like I did at 5. But what do you think, James? Why you have him down at 7?
Like I think it was a very good showing, right? I thought Conlon was going to wipe the floor with him, and it looked like that early. But Wood, man, he came out and he came to play, and he did the same thing. He did good against Zucan too. Stopped him in 12. So those are two bigger names, at least for me, that show he's got a lot of stamina and he's got sustainable power. So while he's not higher on my list, this is why I have him at 7, because he could have been lower. But I mean, he did dirty. He is 33 years old, so he's a little older than most in this division. But man, you got to give it to him. Heart and sustainable power. That'll take you places, and that'll win fights, as you saw against Mick Conlon. So
It's true. Richie, you were kind of a little closer to Seabach or to Bush than I was. So what do you think? Why do you have him up so high?
I think I have him right where he needs to be. I have him at 4. There's not much I can add other than he's 26-2 with 16 knockouts. I think he beats the guys below him, and he on my list, and he has beaten one of the guys below him that I have in my top 10. And as far as like the guys ahead of him, he has a shot here. This was a tough list because I don't know. I don't know if we have a consensus number 1 here. We could easily have 4 different number 1s. This was a pretty tough list, but I don't think Lee Wood is number 1, but he deserves to be in the upper half of the top 10. So I had him at 4.
I mean, he did beat some people's Zucan number 1. So obviously, quick quiz. Anyone know what his nickname is?
The Hammer.
Oh.
nope. I don't remember.
Nottingham.
Lethal.
Lethal, right?
Yeah, lethal. Yeah, lethal, but it's lethal is the way it's pronounced, or not pronounced, but lethal with Leigh. Awesome.
All right, we're running out of time.
All right,
No.
cool. All right, moving on. Moving on to our number 4 with 26 points, 1 point ahead of Leewood, is Josh Warrington. What a fall he took from last year. He was a consensus number 1, I believe, last year on this. I'm gonna have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure he was. I had him down at 4. James, you had him as high as 3. Rich dropped him all the way out of his top 5 to 6, and Bach had him at 5. Let's start with James there. You had him all the way up at 3. Warrington, you didn't drop him as much as the rest of us did. The floor is yours.
Oh, look, he's got, so everybody's got their kryptonite, right? And Laura is his kryptonite. Now he lost the belt, and then there was a no contest due to a cut draw. He hasn't lost to anybody else. He just beat Kiko Martinez pretty handily, might add, with a broken jaw, which happened in the 7th, but whatever. He still turned it on when he needed to turn it on. And Kiko Martinez, you may say, is past his prime and all that stuff, but he's got one hell of a right hand. He came in and did exactly what he needed to do, when he needed to do it, how he needed to do it. Warrington, I see Warrington still being dangerous in this division, real close to the top, definitely up in the top for me. He's only 29 years old. Until he starts fighting people that are outside of England, that time will tell, right? But I mean, he's going to have to rematch Laura again. It's going to be the triple header, and we're going to see what happens with that. But I mean, Warrington has the skills. He just has a kryptonite. This is why I got him at 3, because I don't think he's the real deal.
Interesting. All right, let's see. Richie, you dropped him all the way down to 6 from our consensus number 1 last year. What do you think? Why did you drop him so far?
Well, look, I have to put him head to head against some of these people, and I don't think he beat some of these guys. Although he probably top to bottom has arguably the best resume on here, beating a recently retired Lee Selby, beat the other guy that just retired last year, the other featherweight that went with Frampton. Yeah, and there's another name he beat on here, but I just don't see him taking on the top 5 guys. And he spoiler alert, he lost to one of the top 5 guys. So I couldn't justify. I mean, you could really. I mean, James put Luis Ortiz ahead of Wilder after Luis Ortiz lost to Wilder twice. So you really could. Maybe toe to toe he beats Lara, but until I see that, I can't put him above Mauricio Lara. I have him at number 6. Again, spoiler alert on that end. Only 8 knockouts. May not have the power, but he is one tough dude, man. He'll go 12 every time.
All right. And Matty Bush, you had him at 5. You get the scraps.
Well, James, I'm sorry, he's not 29, he's 31. But
What?
yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
you go. Oh, he
Fact
pulled
check.
that in on you. Nailed it.
but
Mr.
he's-
No Notes
Ooh.
down there nailed
Oh,
it.
dang. Oh, in my face. Oh,
yeah,
that
And
one
I got-
hurts, Gene.
I don't even have internet up here. I knew that. But I'm just gonna say the Leeds Warrior, he showed me something in that Kiko fight, and you know what? I have him where he's at because I have so much respect for the man and the way he fights, and he fights for his people. You know what? That's why I have him where he's at.
Well, he sure as heck doesn't leave home. I mean, he always fights in Britain for the most part. I dropped him from 1 last year down to 4. I didn't want to drop him too far because he's good, but yeah, he seriously does lack power. I mean, you can't knock out Carl Frampton, Kid Galahad. You can't. It's Lee Selby. You can't knock any of these guys out. I mean,
He's an accumulation
Beat her at the
puncher,
end.
and
Yep. So,
he showed
but-
it against Kiko.
You knocked out
Well,
Kiko.
I think the top guys in this division have power, and he's just not gonna have it. He's tough though. We'll give him that. He's tough. All right, moving on to number 3. 31 points. We kind of moved way up on this one because we moved 5 points ahead of Warrington. Is Lara. Lara comes in at 31. I had him all the way up at number 2. James had him at number 2. He agrees with me. He's smart. Richie, the reason that he didn't get up higher because Richie had him down at 5, and Matty Bush had him at 4. Normally I'd start with the highest, but Richie, I got to start with you on this one. 5 for Laura? 5? You're gonna have to explain. You're gonna have to explain yourself there, and then I'll give James the next word on this one.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, this was a tough list. There is not. I don't think there'll be a consensus number 1. He could be as high as 2, but then I didn't want to say, "Oh, me and Raider think alike," because then, gross. But look, I had Lee Wood at 4. I don't see him beating Lee Wood. They're kind of similar, but he doesn't have the better resume. He's beaten almost nobody. He's beaten Warrington. Outside of that, unless you can tell me that people are ducking this guy, go out there and beat some guys up, man. But until then, my 1, 2, and 3 are gonna beat this guy, or at least they have better resumes, top to bottom. So having him at number 6 is not. Did I say 6? At number 5 is not an insult. I mean, 1 to like 6 or 7 could all be shuffled around, in my opinion.
Oh,
I believe it's an insult
Yes.
looking at some of the other ones that you had higher than him, but I'm going to pass it on to James. James, tell him why he's wrong here, because Warrington, by the way, it was awesome. You beat Warrington in England twice in his own backyard. You went to his house, to his backyard.
he beat him once. The other one,
Yeah.
Laura got a nasty cut from a headbutt. Actually, I don't even remember what it was from. I think it was
was
an
a headbutt in
accidental
the second.
headbutt, but either way, it was done
gonna beat him
super
that time.
early. But I mean, Laura, to me, he looks like the real deal, man. He came in and beat Warrington. I think he was doing well against Warrington in the second round or the second fight until that headbutt happened, and that just sucked. But I don't know, man. I've got him at 2 on my list because I think, like I said, I think he's a real deal. He's only 24 years old, too. So this kid's got a lot to learn. He's coming into his prime, and he's got the tenacity. I think he still has the skills. A couple more things that he needs to learn, but man, to put him at 5, Rich, that's an insult. That low is an insult. I'm just saying, a little bit. But either way, man, I got him at 2. I think he beats all the people below him, and till somebody proves me wrong.
To be
You
fair,
gotta
I had
prove
him
him
at
right.
2A.
Prove him right.
I
That's
had him
what
at
wanna
2A,
see.
2B. I kind of had a tie between my second and third. It was just tough for me to choose, and I just think Laura may have had the better victory. But Bush, you had him at 4. You kind of agree more with Richie than James, it looks like, according to
to
your
that.
rankings here. You also had Lee Wood in front of him. The old Lee Wood in front of him. What are you thinking? What are you smoking up there?
Honestly, yeah, he's young, he's got skills, but I think a lot in this whole division, it's a style makes fights kind of situation. You can intermingle all these guys multiple times, and these fights could go either way at any moment, no matter where you put them. Like, it's featherweights. It just depends on what's going on that day. And that's why, I respect the style, but honestly, I see him getting beat by a lot of other guys. I don't think he's that talented yet. He might be in the future. That's why where I have Matt.
His stock is rising. I will say that next year, his stock, he'll be ranked higher than he will lower, and some of these other guys will probably drop down.
I will agree with Richie on that. He can only improve.
That's not true. I mean, you could definitely go. One loss will make you come
Can you
down.
mute James?
I did not. No,
You put a
would
big
not,
X
because he
over his
agrees with
face.
me.
I didn't say anything.
he agrees with me. So why would I mute him? All right, that's our 5 through 3. Now we'll get into our honorable mentions. We had only 12 boxers this time around, gentlemen. That's pretty good. Usually we're at like 14 or 15. There was one boxer that we all had ranked that Matty Bush did not. And then there was one boxer that we all had ranked that James did not. And then there was one boxer that okay. I guess there's one more that I did not have ranked, and all of you had ranked. And then one that James had ranked that nobody else had on their list. So we'll get to that in a minute. James, you win that one. You were the only one that had one person that nobody else had on their list. So
Is it Adrian Broner? Did he
It's
come
not.
down and wait?
it is not. It is not. Well, play the song. Play the song. Way to bring that one in, but we didn't get that song in there. Yeah. Come on, James, dance. It's your bit.
Oh my god, that's such a problem.
All right. Coming in at number 6 at 23 points, just 2 points out of the top 5, was Gary Russell Jr. And this is where I ruined the list, boys. I had him at 9. James had him at 4. Rich had him at 3. And Matty Bush kind of agrees with me at 6. So me and Bush tag teamed to get him out of the top 5 there. Mick Conlon came in at 7th at 14 points. I had him at 6. James had him at 8. Richie had him at 8. And Bush had him at 8. And all you guys agreed at 8. I had him at 6. I just had to put him right with Leigh Wood on mine because they were such a good fight that it could have went either way on that one. This one was a little surprising that I was surprised that Bach did not have him on his list. Ray Vargas came in at 8 at 13 points. I had him at 7. James had him up at 6. Richie had him at 7. Bach did not have him ranked because apparently he's never heard of how awesome Vargas is. At 9, Kiko Martinez with 9 points. I had him at 8. James did not have him ranked. This is the one that James did not have ranked that the rest of us did. Richie had him at 9. Bach had him at 7. Then Joet Gonzalez came in at 10 with 4 points. I did not have him ranked. That's why I don't know how to pronounce his name. James had him at 9. Richie had him at 10. Bach had him at 10. Kid Galahad squeaked in with 3 points because I gave him number 10 and Matty Bush gave him number 9. And the other 2 longtime experts did not have him ranked. And then James had Luis Alberto Lopez ranked number 10, and no one else had him on their list.
Womp womp.
Womp, womp, womp.
Don't you want me on that? Don't you want me on that?
Womp, womp, womp.
That one's gonna be a good one. I can't wait for you guys.
So that's our list. Those are the honorable mentions. I'm going to give you guys each a chance to talk about one of them. I should flip a coin because I'm sure all of you are going to bring up Gary Russell Jr. But we'll start with Filthy Rich. Filthy Rich, any of those that you want to talk about real fast?
Oh boy, look, I can't knock. I mentioned the top 7 could all be number 1. I'll stick to that. I have Conlon at 8, which keeps him out of that top 7. I don't think Conlon is the number 1 guy in this division, although you can make the case that he was destroying Leigh Wood the entire fight until 1 round. He lost 1 round, or the most important round. He probably lost a few in there, but I mean, I guess you could even make the case that Conlon is probably the best, but he's still too young. He doesn't have the bodies yet. Joet Gonzalez at number 10. Look, he's one of them guys. The stock is not plummeting, but his only 2 losses were to Shakur Stevenson and the guy I have ranked number 1. Again, this is a deep, deep division. I'm glad we got to talk about it this week.
All right, so you didn't really bring up anybody, but I kind of liked it. Kind of dropped
Bro, everybody, bro.
He brings everybody. I said name one guy. You went there. He talks about them all, but I like it. Judge, I see. You know why he talked? You know why he talked about them all? Because they're all his guys. That's why it's the Filthy 5. Judge, who do you want to talk about? I'm sure you might want to talk about Gary Russell Jr., who you and Rich had at 3 and 4. All right, you had 4, he had 3, and me and Bush kept him off the list for you guys. What do you think?
Well, real quick, Ray Vargas was not on Seabox list.
He was
No.
not. No.
I'm talking Ray Vargas, man. All right.
like Ray Vargas.
You can talk about Gary Russell Jr. because I already know what you're going to bring up there, Matty Bush. Anyway, Ray Vargas. Look, Ray Vargas is he's kind of like, I guess can't really put a name up, but he's 5'10 and a half. He is extremely tall for this weight division. He is very rangy. He can stick away. He plays the game real well away from you. He's 35-0, 22 knockouts. He's undefeated. Like, this dude is dangerous at this weight as long as he can stay at 126. I mean, he's been in one weight class forever. So I think like this is his thing. He was supposed to fight Gary Russell Jr. before he got a leg fracture. Ended up fighting Baez. I don't remember his first name. I think it might have been Leonardo or something.
Lardo.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. Fighting him, and he didn't. Magsayo got to fight Russell. I think Vargas is dangerous at this class, and once he starts fighting some of the bigger names in this division, you're going to see it real quick. So yeah, man, I'm surprised that Vargas is not on. I'm surprised Vargas ain't on Matty Bush's list, but I can't wait to hear him talk about Gary Russell Jr.
Well, I'm not going to let him talk about it yet because I want to talk a little Ray Vargas too, because I was proud that I had him on my list. I thought maybe because he's not on a lot of the lists. He's not on the ESPN list. He's not on the top rank list, stuff like that. So I was proud. I was throwing him in there. I was like, oh man, I'm going to be smart here. And I was with my experts. So in honor of Ray Vargas, I went in, since he's from Mexico, I'm going to open up my next beer of Tecate in honor of Ray Vargas. Ray Giovanni Vargas Roldan is his birth name. Cheers him. He's got a big fight against Magsayo coming up here. Going to be interesting. If he wins that fight, Matty Bush, you're going to look awfully silly. But okay, Matty Bush, go ahead.
Well, Vargas probably had one of his henchmen break his leg, so he didn't have to fight Gary Russell because he was afraid.
It's not Tanya Harding is his manager.
Well, I thought it was like a Nancy Kerrigan Harding thing, but
Just said that.
Yeah, that was an old school figure skating reference. If you guys didn't catch it, but just gonna say, I don't know.
Gary Russell Jr. is what you're.
I haven't seen enough from Vargas to put him up in there. And like I said, all styles make fights in this weight division. Anything can happen. As we all know, Gary Russell has still to this day the fastest hands at any weight division over Andy Ruiz. But let's just say, Gary Russell, yeah, he only fights once a year, but the man has skills. I'm just going to say, Gary Russell, I still love him to death. I wish he fought more. Go Baltimore.
Well, that doesn't even explain why we had him down low, but I'll explain I'll take it from here. Why I had him low? He only fights once a year, and sometimes not even that.
That's what I said.
I know that's what you said, but mute him for me, please. I'm running off here because he doesn't fight. You got to fight to be able to move up. You can move down from lack of action. I'm sorry. I mean, if we can move Lee Wood up because of a great fight, one great fight, we can move Gary Russell way down for not fighting or fighting once a year against some guy that no one cares about. I mean, yeah, he looked good when he came back. Yeah, great. But fight more than once a year. Things change in a year. Things change so much in a year. Josh Warrington dropped 3 spots on our list in 1 year. Gary Russell Jr.'s had 1 fight in that time.
Josh Warrington dropped 2 spots on my list.
I'm talking about overall.
I have Leigh Wood at 7. Y'all got him way up at the top. I got Gary Russell at number 4, man. Gary Russell would have beat Mark Magsayo if he didn't get injured, if he wasn't already injured. Are you telling me this?
I agree with that.
This is why Gary Russell is at number 4 on my list, because he is going to beat everyone else below him. That includes your Ray Vargas, your Leigh Wood, your Michael Conlon. When he's 100% and he does fight, he is dangerous. Trust me, he was off of my list back in the day for exactly what you said, because he's not active. But guess what?
Yeah.
He's on it right now because he fought, and he fought
one time.
Yeah, well, everybody should learn from Lomachenko. You can't win from throwing no punch, man. This ain't Willie Pep.
I want to change a guy out of my list after James's rant right there. James got me a believer right now.
You can't do it.
Yeah, I already had him.
You said you want to change a guy. Who do you want to change? You want to put Vargas in your list?
No, I want to take Magsayo off.
Wow. Okay.
All right, moving on. Them Bush lattes are really kicking in there.
No.
The passion that James just came with, and it was correct.
Okay, Rich, you get the final word.
I was just gonna say.
Hey, wait a minute. I'll take over. Rich, you have the
Let's get
final
the
word.
final word. All right. So the thing with Ray Vargas, 35-0. I mean, 35 wins is pretty big. Martinez only has more. He has 22 knockouts, but he hasn't fought anyone except for one dude that nobody knows. This guy, Kameda. So I can't say his first name. Kameda is this mean Japanese dude. I've seen this guy fight before. He can take a hit and he hits right back really hard. You beat Kameda. That is impressive to me. So Vargas is the real deal. Holyfield.
Noticeably absent from all of our lists was Zukan. Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts?
Flash in the pan.
No.
Throws a lot of punches, but flash in the pan.
I was just gonna say it was noticeable that he couldn't even get a number 10 spot on anybody's list. I mean, we had Luis Alberto Lopez on a list, and we couldn't get Zucan on there somewhere.
He's right.
Deep
He's
division.
ranked on
This is
a
a
lot.
deep division.
Yeah. Luis Alberto Lopez just floored Gabriel Flores Jr. If you remember that, he
I do.
beat the up and comer who's supposed to be the weight. He's supposed to be the next big thing in this division. That's
I
why
wasn't
Alberto
knocking
Lopez
Luis
is on my
Alberto
thing.
Lopez as much as I was knocking Zucan.
Doesn't matter, man. I'm defending my boys.
There
All
you
right.
go. That's your
I'm
guy.
not gonna lie.
Not my guy.
James is speaking truth over here. I love it.
I don't do
Well, why don't you
guys.
go grab
Mute
yourself
them
a
both.
Tecate out of your fridge? I know you still have some in there for Levi or for Ray Vargas here, James. You know, I know you got them. I
No,
brought them
I'm
over there
done.
myself.
Those are gone.
You really drank those? Well done.
Dude,
James
threw 'em
don't
out?
mess around. Come on.
He puts them outside to keep the squirrels away from his garden. That's what basically he
James-
uses them
Hey,
for.
James be a real man. He drank those things and he moved on to Bush Latte. Bang, blue smoothie.
All right. Bruise and
That-
boxing. Less bruise, more boxing. Let's go.
All right. Bush Latte may be the only upgrade in the world from Tecate, but anyway, let's go to our 2-1 here because we may not have consensus. We may. We don't know. At number 2, 32 points is Mark Magsayo. I had him down at 3. I kind of had 2A, 2B with. I had so much trouble figuring out between him and Lara. I had a lot of trouble, but I eventually put him at 3. James had him all the way down at 5. Richie had him at 2. Matty Bush had him at 2. Normally I'd start with the top, but I'm going to start with James like I did last time for Lara. You had him all the way down at 5. You kind of already touched on it because you said that Gary Russell would beat him. I'll let you go on and why Magsayo is number 5 on your list.
look, I got Magsayo down there. He's a little Pacquiao, right? That one of his things. He's been compared to Pacquiao. I think he was trained by Manny Pacquiao. I could definitely see it in that fight that he does have the little hop and the jumps, just like Pacquiao does. But he's just too, for me, he is susceptible to getting dropped. And if Gary Russell wouldn't have been hurt in the second round, I think, or third round, whatever round it was, early in the fight, I think he would have lost that fight by a landslide. Now, either way, I think that Magsayo loses to Warrington. I think he loses to Laura. He definitely has the ability. He's only 26, but that's why I got him at 5. I'll let you guys tout him up, but I got him down here because I wasn't sold. I wasn't sold when I saw him fight. So,
All right. Well, let's flip a coin here to see since you both had him at 2. Filthy Rich, why do you have him at 2?
Look, he beat Gary Russell. Yeah, it was an injured Gary Russell, but we've criticized fighters in the past, like Lomachenko. Don't take the fight if you're not. No, because at the end of the day, no excuses. You could have backed out. You decided to fight. You didn't win. You lost. In a rematch, I think Magsayo beats this dude. I think Gary Russell, he's one of them guys whose stock is plummeting because of his age and his lack of activity or his inactivity. I think Magsayo beats everyone down the list. He is a Pacquiao clone to an extent. I think there's room for improvement, and I think that's going to be happening soon. I think this guy's going to be number 1 at some point, unless he moves out of the division. But I see him beating everyone in front of him.
Yeah. All right. I kind of agree, but that's why I have him at 2 and 2A. I didn't know between him and Lara. It was very close for me. Matty Bush, your thoughts? I'll give you a shout out.
My thoughts is like I said, I was going to change it out. The reason I had Magsayo up is because the way he throws a punch, he's got some stink on his punch. He has a problem right now at his young age with stamina. And that's the one thing I'm concerned about. And then when James brought up Gary Russell, that man has no problem with stamina. So, but honest to God, at 26 years old, he's going to learn that. He's going to learn how to hit the bike, start running, start skipping rope some more. get his stamina online. And when he can throw those punches constantly, like how he started the fight against Gary Russell, and he can do that for 8 to 9 rounds out of the 12, he's going to be really hard to beat if he can still throw those punches. Because when he throws, he really throws with conviction. So, like, it's kind of like, does he do it? We don't know. But that's why I have Magsayo, because I think the upside to Magsayo is huge. I really do. And I'm not even going to do the Manny Pacquiao comparison because he throws straighter shots than Manny ever did.
That was a comparison to Manny Pacquiao.
Thank you for the comparison there.
No, I'm saying, but I'm saying he throws straighter punches than Manny.
I know.
Okay,
it was funny.
I did compare.
Don't get him off track, boys.
But all right, but I'm just
Who's on
saying,
a roll?
like, I think the upside of Magsayo is, like, it's huge. Like, it really is. As long as he has his stamina under control, I think he'll be number one eventually if he can get that under control at his young age.
Right on. Magnifico at number 2. Hey, you also forget, nobody said this. He made it so Gary Russell Jr. won't have a win in the year of 2022. I mean, Gary Russell won't win in 2022. He'll have a whole year that he didn't have a win on his career. I mean, that's bad. That happened to Canelo. What would happen? He would drop. He would fly off.
I'm making a bold prediction. Gary Russell's fight twice.
No shot. No shot.
Okay, Raider Damas, that's not your segment.
Yeah, Raider Damas is believe me, there'll be plenty of Gary Russells in the Raider Damas segment when we're coming up.
Segment.
Oh, that's gonna be the greatest segment ever. Wait till you guys see it out there. It's gonna be amazing. Anyway, let's move on to our number 1 here. Filthy Rich predicted that we would not have a consensus number 1. Well, he was actually wrong. We did have a consensus number 1 at 40 points. Emmanuel Navarrete. All of us
knock it off.
Had him ranked at number 1.
Ooh,
right
to that.
Right across the board. That means he is an official bruising boxing champion.
Nice.
I have to drink Tecate for a official.
Yeah, it's fair. It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how that works out for you.
No,
I want to drink.
We don't hold on to you. You don't get done. You're done.
How did you not have a beer ready? I mean, geez.
Oh, it's his water.
Emmanuel Navarrete, you are our official bruising boxing. Shut up. Shut him up. You are our official bruising boxing number 1 for the featherweight division. Consensus across the board. I'm going to start with James this time. James, consensus, you break it down because you're good. You're a numbers guy. You're a math guy. You're good.
Well, look, Navarrete is a 2-time world champion. Okay, so this is what, 3rd division that he's fought at so far, and he keeps moving up. It is the Cowboy, right?
Yeah,
he is he's not undefeated, but he's 35-1 as far as I'm concerned. He's undefeated. He's got 29 knockouts. This dude has the power. He's got the skills. He's got the ring generalship. This is the real deal. He is number 1 at this division, and he will be number 1 at this division until he moves up in weight, as far as I'm concerned. He fought his last fight. He fought against Joet Gonzalez. I don't know if y'all had him on his list. He was on my list. That boy fought.
He was on my list.
Broke an orbital bone in the 2nd or 3rd round, and he continued and fought to a unanimous decision. So, not to skirt on Joey Gonzalez, but either way, man, Navarrete is the king of this division until he moves up in weight. I do not see anybody beating him. Congratulations, Cowboy.
By the way, the only fight that he technically lost was a 4-round fight against Daniel Argueta, which Navarrete was still named the champion because Argueta did not appear at the weigh-in. He didn't even show up to weigh in. So, stones in the glove, maybe coming in 20 pounds overweight. Who knows? It was at the Centurion de Oro 18, wherever that is in Polanco. But, yeah, exactly. So, some street brawl or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it was All right. Filthy Rich, I'm going to send it to you. Why do you think he's the number 1? Anything that James didn't touch on, besides having the worst haircut in the division, by the way? I
don't know about that. Look, how do I put this? I said that 7 of these guys, all 10, 11 of these guys could be number 1. And I'm going to stick by that. The only reason I have him at number 1 is because he has the 29 knockouts. That is the only reason why. He hasn't beaten a single person, top to bottom. He hasn't beaten anyone. He's beaten Joey Gonzalez. That is about it. I have him at 10. But other than that, he hasn't fought anyone. He may have been up and down divisions and whatnot, but 29 knockouts is 29 knockouts. In 36 fights, that's still 29 knockouts. He may be getting ducked, and that's why no one wants to fight him. He might be the featherweight Golovkin of 2014 or something, but I think he's earned it. Good for him. You want to beat the best, go fight the best. And right now he's the best.
Yeah, he's still only 27. He's got an 80% knockout percentage. That's pretty good. The only person I know that has a bigger knockout percentage is Matty Bush. So Matty Bush, why don't you explain your number one? These guys
he's a no-nonsense pressure fighter. It's going to be very hard to beat this man. He has got conviction in his. He's a Mexican. He just wants to fight. He wants to hurt. He wants to hurt you. Like, that's what he does. He's going to be no nonsense. None of this glamour. It's all about hurting you and taking you out. And he's got an engine for days. It's over. It's a wrap. He's number one, far beyond everyone else.
Far beyond. Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
I
he is
disagree, and that's kind of cool.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's still a bruising boxing champion because he is unanimous number one across the board, which wins him the bruising boxing featherweight belt. Congratulations. Congratulations. Blah, blah. See that?
Congratulations.
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 Thanks,
What?
Parker.
Marriage is why we are here today. Wow. It's like the
Oh,
priest
Princess
from Princess
Bride,
Bride. I got it.
Marriage.
That's what the marriage. That's what the Tecate does to me, apparently. So that's our list. We got number 1, Navarrete. Number 2, Magsayo. Number 3, Lara. 4, Warrington. 5, Laying Wood. 6, Gary Russell Jr., way too high. 7, Michael Conlon. 8, Ray Vargas, not high enough. 9, Kiko Martinez. 10, Juit Gonzalez. 11, Kid Galahad. 12, Luis Alberto Lopez, not mentioned Zucan. That's our list. Filthy 5. Tell us how we did in the comments below. We love to see them. You can actually tag whoever you want to answer your question in the comments and say Matty Bush or Judge Jimmy James or Filthy Rich. You guys are all wrong. Rare Live knows what he's talking about. Yes, please throw that down there and we will specifically answer you. So go ahead and throw that down there in the comments. Where do you have this division? Do you agree? Do you disagree? All right, that's our Filthy 5 for the month of April. No April Fools on this one. So, well, Matty Bush is always an April Fool. But moving on with the show. Bruising previews time, gentlemen. Lots of big fights this weekend. It's an exciting weekend for fighting. Lots of money to be spent at Judge Jimmy James' house this weekend. Cannot wait. Cannot wait to spend the judge's money. Apparently, he thinks he's going to a concert. I didn't know. Well, we'll sit there and watch it on your credit card anyway. We got 4 fights to break down and some predictions to get through here. So let's go. Let's start from the top. Michaela Mayer, they say we don't talk about a lot of women's boxing. Well, we're going to do it now. We're going to break this one down. Michaela Mayer is facing Jennifer Hahn this weekend. James, you got the breakdown. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, this one's pretty straightforward, right? So Michaela Mayer versus Jennifer Hahn is the headliner on ESPN Plus card. There's some decent undercard stuff on here, a couple of good fights. We won't touch base on that. You're just gonna have to check it out to figure that part out. But this is Michaela Mayer after beating Hamadouche in her last fight. She's coming for blood, right? Jennifer Hahn is definitely on the older side of her career, but she had just lost a unanimous decision to Kate Taylor. Probably going to be a straightforward fight, nothing too crazy. This is going to be a setup fight for Mayer to actually fight one of these big dogs in her division. So hopefully that this happens. It'll probably be a Taylor Serrano. Whoever wins that fight on April 30th is going to fight Michaela Mayer when she beats Jennifer Hahn.
Jennifer Hahn's more of a gatekeeper at this point. Fight both. Just going to give him a tune up here. Little stretch here, but they come in. Mayer comes in at minus 1450 favorite. Jennifer Hahn at 12-1 underdog. Let's do predictions. Filthy Rich, go ahead. You'll start with your prediction.
Michaela Mayer knockout 8.
All right, Judge Jimmy James.
Mayer by unanimous decision.
Yeah. Matty Bush.
100% Mayer. 100% unanimous decision.
I'm going to go with Mayer by knockout in the 6th. I'm going to go with Mayer knockout in 6th. Get short work, get it done with national TV. You want to get a knockout, get some impression. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go Michaela Mayer knockout in 6th. All right, let's move on to the next one. Filthy Rich is going to knock down Erickson Lubin versus Fundora. Big junior middleweight fight coming up this weekend. What do you got, Filthy Rich? Break it down.
So this is I guess Erickson Lubin must be the headliner. He's got the better resume. He's
A-side.
Probably the better fighter, actually. So the storyline here is we got a guy who's 5'9" in Erickson Lubin versus a guy who's, I believe, 6'5.5" or something in Sebastian Fundora.
Holy cow. That's you versus James.
Yeah, basically, except James beats me up, and actually, I think the little guy, not little guy, but the guy who lacks height in this fight is, I shouldn't give the prediction. There it is. Anyways, I think Sebastian Fundora needs to keep his distance from Lubin, because if Lubin gets inside, that's probably going to be it. I don't know if Sebastian Fundora has the power to knock a guy out like Lubin, even though Lubin caught that one a few years ago from Jermell Charlo. One quick hit to the dome put him out. So I guess there is a chance for Fundora, but my guess is the odds makers have Erickson Lubin as the favorite going into this fight.
They do, but not as a big favorite. In boxing, this is as close to a pick 'em as you can get. Erickson Lubin comes in at a -130 favorite. Fundora at a +130. So basically as even as you can get right there. Lubin and Fundora, Filthy Rich, you already started your prediction, so I'll let you go ahead and give your prediction again.
Again, I haven't seen power out of Fundora, so I don't see him knocking out Lubin. But Lubin does have power. His nickname is the Hammer, the Sledgehammer, and the Jackhammer. This guy he'll probably knock Fundora out. I'm gonna give it. It shouldn't go past 10. We'll go 9. We'll go Lubin by 9.
Lubin by knockout in 9. Judge Jimmy James.
Ooh, Fundora should fight from the outside. He's not going to do that because he likes to fight on the inside, which is stupid. There is only a 4-inch reach advantage. I think that is going to work for Lubin's favor. However, I do not believe that he's going to be able to knock Fundora out. I think it's going to be a unanimous decision win for Erickson Lubin.
Unanimous decision for Lubin. Matty Bush.
I'm calling a knockout for Lubin in round 6 on body shots.
Oh, very specific too. That's going to be a clean sweep, 2 fights in a row. I'm going to take Lubin as well. I'm going to have the hammering Fundora's. I was going to say he's going to knock him on the top of the head, just like that fight. But I'm going to say in round 8, because I was going to say round 9, but I don't want to be exactly like Filthy Rich. I just want to be as cool as him someday, not cooler. So I'm going to go round 8, one behind him. So Erickson Lubin is the unanimous round, only -130 better. So get that in there. Get that in there right now. All right, moving on. You boys ready to dance? Because I'm ready to dance. The sexiest man in boxing, Ryan Garcia. Play the music. That's right, Rich. That's right. The Instagram king, the sexiest man in all of boxing, facing something called Tagoe, whatever. Doesn't matter. 139 catch weight. Matty Bush. Break down the sexiest man in boxing.
Well, according to you, the sexiest man in boxing.
No, we anointed him. He became the sexiest man.
I'm pretty sure it's still Oscar De La Hoya. He's still involved. But
you've been doing as much coke as him, apparently.
All right, let's just figure out the fight. How about that?
All right, okay, yeah. Good call. You know what? It's a gimme fight for Ryan Garcia. Him coming back off his mental awareness or whatever you call it, and I use quotes highly on that because you know what, I don't believe it. Yeah, it's gonna make Ryan Garcia look great. Yeah, he got great fast hands. It's going to be a one-sided fight against this poor man unless he really comes to like upset the apple cart, but I don't see that coming because why would they put in the new golden child, as I'll call him, not the golden boy, the golden child. They're going to try to make him look good, especially coming off after he got kicked out of Eddie Reynoso's camp. But, and that's how I believe it is. Remember, I already called it out. I want to fight Ryan Garcia. I'm still calling it out, Ryan Garcia. I'm 200 pounds and 6'2". Let's do it, Ryan Garcia. But
he'd kill you.
Lose some weight.
No. Well, do you think I'm gonna box him? I'm gonna grab him in the head like a
Brilliant!
Oh, geez, there's the first one. You lasted as long as you could, didn't you? You lasted as long as you could.
Right.
Brilliant.
But I'm just gonna say this. It's gonna be a showcase for Ryan Garcia to showcase his fast hands and how hard he trained with his new trainer to show Canelo up and Eddie Reynoso up and this and that. And I feel bad for the guy he's fighting because you know what? Garcia does have some skills. It's gonna be. Oh, you want my prediction?
No, I don't want your prediction. We're going to start predictions right now. Good breakdown. Filthy Rich, your prediction for Ryan Garcia versus Tagoe.
Well, Garcia's trainer is the guy for the Castillo Corrales fight. The guy who Chico Corrales trainer.
Joe
so it's
Goosen.
not. Yeah, it's Joe Goosen. It's not some dude we look over and look past. Oh, you want my prediction?
Before you give the prediction, I forgot to give the odds. Ryan Garcia is coming in at minus 1,000, which means you have to lay 1,000 and win 100. And Tagoe is coming in at 11-1 underdog, so every 100 wins you 1,100. A tie gets you 22-0 or 22-1 on a tie. Go ahead, Filthy Rich, your prediction.
I'll take Ryan Garcia after this long layoff. There's no way Golden Boy's going to put him in a dangerous situation. They want to get that ring rust off him. So I want to say knockout. Had this been Ryan Garcia active, I would say knockout. But let's just go the distance. Garcia by unanimous.
Unanimous for Garcia. Judge.
This is probably going to be the fight that I call a knockout in. Probably going to be a knockout in 9. Tagoe is from Ghana, so we'll see, man. Maybe he can channel some of his Richard Comey love, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Garcia is going to take him down.
Knockout by what round did you say?
Niner.
All right. Matty Bush.
I'm gonna call Garcia round 5 knockout.
All right. On my prediction here, I'm going to say something that only Filthy Rich is going to get and appreciate.
Oh boy.
I think that Ryan Garcia is going to pull a Tyler Breeze. Yeah, you know that one.
Yeah, I know Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, Tyler Breeze. And take selfies in the corner between rounds because he's going to be that easy. He's going to be sitting there taking his selfie stick.
Oh, jeez.
Posting to Instagram between rounds because he's going to be beating Tagoe whenever he wants. I'm going to say round 4 just because he probably has a dinner date with 3 Instagram models that night. So we'll go round 4 for the sexiest man in boxing, Ryan Garcia. All right, let's go to the last one here, the big one, the geriatric fight, as some have said, but I don't think so because Triple G looks enormous. Triple G versus Murata, big fight this weekend. It's his last fight. If he wins, he gets his trilogy against Canelo, is what the word is. What do you guys think? Triple G versus Murata. We're going to give you guys each a quick segment to break it down. Filthy Rich, we're going to start with you.
Yeah, should be a good fight. Go to James. It'll be a
Dynamite drop in, Monty. That broadcast at school has really paid off there. Judge Jimmy James, go ahead.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Murata's definitely not someone to look over. So we'll see how well Jonathan Banks and his new defensive style actually works against someone who's got a lot, his most dangerous opponent since being with Jonathan Banks, in my opinion. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a really good fight. You're going to have to wake up early to see it. So it's going to boil down to it. Murata's going to come forward. Triple G's going to have to use his defense. We're going to see how effective that is with the different Triple G style.
Yeah, it is at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just so you know. So in Minnesota, it's at 2 a.m. on April 9th.
I'm gonna watch it.
That's a Friday night. Friday night at 2 a.m. If you're ready for that, I will be working sadly, but I will try to figure out a way to get to James so he can spend that money. Matty Bush, your chance to break that one down. Anything that Judge missed?
I'm just gonna say, yeah.
Don't give a prediction.
Anything I missed? What about anything I missed? Cover what I missed.
You never miss anything.
You missed everything.
I'm going to say it's a 60-40 fight after watching some training videos of Gennady right now. And that's 60% for Gennady, still 40% for Murata. Murata is not any man to be sleeping on at all. I think. Did you
say in pre-show how much bigger Triple G looks right now? I mean, I want you to elaborate on that.
No, he looks in great shape. He looks in better shape than he's ever looked before. And I've actually been watching his old fights with Jonathan Banks. It looks like he's got a little bit head movement going on where he's not taking as much punishment, but he still likes to eat a punch. And any man who's got a proper jab can still hit Gennady, but he can eat those all day. But eventually the chin goes away. I'm just saying he looks in amazing shape. His body looks, for 40 years old, he looks like I don't know, he looks in amazing shape. I'm just gonna say this right now. I will never go away
Don't
from
wait.
Gennady.
You say bust that up for your prediction, but
Oh yeah.
Let's start with them. Start with them.
Oh, a little
Let's
late
do
now.
it.
Oh,
All right,
you
let's
guys didn't
start
see
with
that.
them.
Yeah.
Let's
Never know.
go. Woo!
All right, let's just get into the prediction.
All right, Matty Bush, I'm going to let you start with the prediction. One quick second, though. Gennady Golovkin's coming in at a minus 450, which means every 450 you lay wins you 100. And Murata's coming in at 4.5 to 1 underdog plus 470. So every 100 wins you 470. Go ahead, Matty Bush, your prediction.
All right, I think we got a war of men who just end up eating punches to each other, and it's who's ever got the toughest chin wins. And this man right here, the Gennady Golovkin glove signed up. I think Gennady gets him in 9.
I don't see you challenging Gennady Golovkin to any fight and ripping his effing head off, but
I would never do that.
he would kill you, as would Ryan Garcia. All right, Judge, your prediction. You said knockout in 9? Is that what you said, Bush?
Yep,
All right.
9er.
Look, guys, this is boxing. Okay,
Boxing.
this is going to be knockout in 10 rounds because big drama show.
Big drama show. The big drama show
James?
back.
I love it, James. I love it.
The big drama show back. Filthy Rich.
Blair the Flair Cobb had some good training videos. That doesn't mean anything to me, man. I think I'm gonna take Golovkin and I think I'll take him in 10. I think it'll be a good fight, but Golovkin needs to win rounds and win convincingly because if it goes the distance, they may give the nod to Murata because it is in Japan.
No,
That-
I'm wondering why you said Blair the Flair Cobb. I thought you were gonna go with
Brilliant!
Oh, geez, number 2. That's
All right,
2.
you're done.
Yeah, you're done. Mute him, please. Thank you. All right, now let's go to mine. I cannot wait to hear the boom, bum, 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 bum. I'm gonna hear it at 3 a.m. I may leave work early, take a point just for this one, just to hear it, to see it, because I want to see it.
You're talking about the dude's entrance music at WrestleMania. What's his name?
It ain't gonna be till 5 a.m, Raiders. So
Well, yeah, I get off at 8 a.m, so I may have to take a point. But
What's the guy's name?
anyway, Gennady Golovkin, he's gonna prove why he's still going to be the best. Why he beat Canelo twice, in my opinion. He's gonna beat Murata. He's gonna destroy Murata. I'm gonna be happy to see it, but I do think Golovkin's gonna start out slow. I really do. I think he's gonna have a Lomachenko style where he's going to not do much for the first 2 rounds, which is going to extend it out a little bit. I'm going to say a knockout in round 11 when Murata's just, they better stop this thing just because he ain't going to come out of the corner, I think, in round 11. So I think he's not going to answer the bell in round 11. So I guess that'd give me a knockout in 10, agreeing with you guys up there. Would that be official? If he doesn't answer the bell in 11, it'd be a knockout.
It'd be 11.
I think it's 10. I think that would be 10.
Well, no, if he's going into 11.
who cares? He's gone.
It was
Filthy
Pat
Rich, yeah.
McAfee who came out to Seven Nation Army.
Did
That
he?
was pretty
Oh,
cool.
It's my guy.
That was
It's my
pretty
guy.
cool. That was
And
pretty cool.
by the way, one of the best guys to ever sell the stunner. That was one of the best stunner sells I've ever seen.
We're calling it 10.
Anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm going to
call
say
it.
that Murata does not answer the bell for 11. That's what I'm going to say.
All right,
So,
all right.
that's
So
what I'm
Raiders got 10. Then. All right.
good talk. All right. Who let him off of mute? Anyway, that's our predictions for the fights this weekend. Good talks. Make sure you place your bets. We told you our predictions. I think we agreed on every. Did we agree on every fight? We did, didn't we? That's weird. Time to hit the old parlays. Parlay all 4 of them because it's on. It's on. Lubin, Garcia, Mayer, and Golovkin. Parlay all 4. Make yourself some money. All right, that is our brews and predictions this week. Let's move on with the show. All right, good show this week, boys. I got to Filthy 5. First show we've ever had with no news, by the way. We just had pretty slow news week, and we had the Filthy 5 anyway. We don't like to extend the Filthy 5 out too long on those shows. They're already long enough. But I did find Matty Bush's prom picture posted behind me here, as you can see. Pretty nice. But, before I turn it over to Filthy Rich, my grats to my guy, Frank Gore. Always been my guy for, as Judge Jimmy James can explain, for well over, feels like 20 years, but it'd probably be longer than that. Finally retiring. from the NFL, and he's entering the boxing ring. So he's going to have his first professional fight here in like 2 weeks after he signs with the 49ers for a one-day contract. So my guy, Frank Gore, I may put you on my team in the playoffs next year just because for one time only. Filthy Rich, why don't you bring us on home?
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to my boy, Frank Gore. 16 years, 16,000 yards. I got a San Francisco Niners thing I opened this bottle with. I've watched this guy at the University of Miami. He has backed up Edgerrin James, Najee Davenport. I think James Jackson was there. Willis McGahee was there. All of the greats. This guy was the king. I think he's probably the greatest running back in the history of the game. Thank you, Frank Gore, for the memories. I've got plenty of memorabilia. Drink to you, brother.
Number 3 all-time in yards, by the way, which is just ridiculous. And by the way, I wish he would play one more because he's only 726 yards away from Walter Payton. That's how good Frank Gore is. Walter Payton.
It's a humble individual.
Humble guy. Just past Barry Sanders and Adrian Peterson, who were the only ones behind him. So, Judge Jimmy James, if they're listening to us, where can they watch us? They're watching us. Where can they listen to us and see or watch us and see Matty Bush's prom picture behind me? And any other nice Frank Gore things out the door.
Don't we go to words of wisdom first?
No, that's always the last thing.
Debatable. Might have to watch that last one. But if you are listening to us and you want to watch us, you can go to YouTube/Brews and Boxing. And if you are watching us and want to listen to us on any major podcast site, just type in Brews and Boxing. We're on all of them. iHeartRadio, Spotify, the whole 9 yards.
I like
right ahead. And yeah, Frank Gore obviously is 16,000 yards. You should see the people that were drafted ahead of him in the 2005 NFL draft, I believe. Ooh, that's late. But yeah, he is the Highlander.
And he was always on my teams. Every one of my teams, he ended up on one. Even last year, he was on my teams. It was amazing.
Yeah,
but
he was on mine.
All right. Matty Bush. Yeah, he was on yours because we share a team. He's always on that one. You're like, you picked up Frank Gore. I'm like, yeah, I did. He's going to score a touchdown. And he would. Anyway. Matty Bush, your words of wisdom, more whiz than dumb, please.
Well, it's never really words of wisdom, but I always like to end on a serious note. We got to talk about some stuff that's going on in the world, and I hate to be a downer, and I just want to say that the Timberwolves are better than the Lakers, and they made the playoffs. Sorry,
God, the Suns are better. Everyone's better than the Lakers.
He had me there. He had me for a second. He had me going. That's the best acting you've ever done.
Well, I was worried
with you.
Well done. Go Wolves. Go Wild. Go Twinkies. Twinkies. How many World Series did you win with the Twinkies on your?
The Yankees played
game?
a disgusting Red Sox on Thursday. Ugh.
And the Twinkies starting a rookie, by the way, as their opening day starter, which is a little weird.
Let's go.
He's not a rookie. Joe Ryan is not a rookie. No, he's not.
You're all rookies.
You're a rookie. I'm a rookie. Everyone's a rookie. Let's close it out.
He's just a young man.
All right, for Matty Bush, Filthy Rich, and Judge Jimmy James, I am Raider Live. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you tune in on YouTube to see Matty Bush's prom picture right behind me. Lakers suck. Frank Gore is a legend. The Highlander will live. And hey, Frank Gore's going to come back and get 800 yards from somebody next year. You watch. He'll get signed.
There can be only one.
He'll get there. Right. There could be only one. He'll chop off somebody's head at halftime. It'll be a big lightning show. It'll be amazing. All right, that's our show this week. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you all next week.